Hi again, everyone. Scott Pyre, Popcorn fan here. One more video for you guys today, mainly because the next couple days I'm going to be working like from morning to nighttime shifts, which is why I'm going to make this video now. And I've already done like a review for Sean over on his channel for this movie, because I just got back from the theaters with my friend Sean, and we just saw Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, and I just thought that I just want to give my own like in-depth review of the film before Sean releases his review, where I'm in it with him. I just want to talk a little bit more about the movie. Go a little bit more into the story and some aspects of the film that I genuinely really enjoyed. So let's go ahead and get into this. So Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I'm not sure how long it's been since the previous film, Godzilla vs. Kong, but you can tell that it's been a couple of years because the little girl from the previous movie, you can tell she's a little bit older in this film. So I think it's like 2 or 3 years later. Must be, because, the previous movie came out in 2021, 2024. It's been like 3 years. So I'm guessing within the universe, it's also been 3 years. So, yeah, and I do think that they're getting better with the human stories in these movies. They haven't always been that great with the human characters in the MonsterVerse movies, but in this movie, I do think that while it is more exciting and more interesting to watch, all these creatures, Godzilla, King Kong, and other creatures, etc. Not spoiling anything, but I just think that you do care about a couple of these characters, like the little girl. You care about her. Brian Tyree Henry's character. He's a fun presence in the film, and also I think one thing I will say about this movie is that it does take a while before we get to the main threat of the film. And then once Scar King does show up, he's intimidating. Like, he has this intimidating presence about him. And there are certain aspects of this movie that, you can tell he has that that intimidating presence. And there are some amazing action sequences between him and King Kong, and also some great action sequences with Godzilla as well. And that's another thing that I want to go into, because Godzilla, while there are some amazing moments with him, he's not in the movie quite as much as you would think, because Godzilla is going off doing his own thing while King Kong, we're focusing on him. And this movie essentially feels like a King Kong film, just with Godzilla sprinkled in throughout, which, personally, I'm perfectly fine with that, because I love King Kong quite a bit more than Godzilla, if I'm being honest, because I grew up with a Peter Jackson film as well as some of the older King Kong films. So I am more of a King Kong fan than I am Godzilla. And it was definitely the kind of thing that I really liked about this movie, because it was more about King Kong. And because of that, there are certain elements of this movie that made me think of Planet of the Apes, which, because there's certain things that you see in this film that kind of are sort of borrowed from the Planet of the Apes movies, if you think about it, because it was shown in the trailers that a bunch of giant gorillas are enslaved by the Scar King, and that's one thing. And then also there's these humans that worship King Kong and these other apes. Well, mainly King Kong. That these other humans, this other tribe worships King Kong, and they can communicate telepathically. And if you think about it, if you're a Planet of the Apes fan, if you've seen the older movies, the mutants from the older movies communicated telepathically. So there's that as well, because they're also telepathic humans that live underneath, like, in the Hollow Earth. So that's sort of similar to the mutants in Beneath the Planet of the Apes. So this one thing there that just, made me think of those movies. And I think overall, I think I do like this story more than the previous film, Godzilla vs. Kong, just mainly because you don't spend the entire film of Godzilla and King Kong going at each other, because they do team up to go up against Scar King and this other threat. And I just think that some of the more heartfelt moments with King Kong and the baby gorilla, I think its name is Suko, some nice moments between those two, as well as the little girl in this film and some of the moments between her and her mother figure, and just provides some levity. And also, while not all the humor works for me in this film, it is an entertaining film as an action flick with a bunch of giant monsters fighting. It's a lot of fun. This movie knows what it's. This movie it knows what it knows what it is. It's not trying to take itself too seriously, and it's just trying to, be a fun blockbuster. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not trying to be an amazing film. It's not trying to be Godzilla -1, and that's okay. Not every Godzilla movie needs to be so serious, and not every Godzilla movie needs to be so funny. There's a lot of different Godzilla movies. If you guys aren't aware of that, there's a lot of Godzilla movies made by the Toho Japanese film company that most people here in America probably not have seen. But yes, and I just think that overall it was a very fun film. And I think Godzilla definitely went through some transformations in this film, like a Pokemon. It evolved, and there's also this one other creature that I also don't want to spoil that I thought was beautiful to look at, actually, especially when it was introduced. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, overall, especially the visual effects. Like I don't think I mentioned this yet, but I think the visual effects are really good too. The CGI, really good, and some of the music. I like some of the song choices in this film that I definitely liked jamming to in the theater. And yeah, this movie is a lot of fun. And I will say that this movie, I do think it's a little bit fast paced. It goes at the pace that it should go with the kind of movie that it is. So there's not a whole lot of slow burn moments, because it just goes at such a breakneck pace. It doesn't give you much time to breathe. That's the one thing I will say about that as well. The pacing, which just goes really quickly, and once it's over, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. But overall, it was a fun film, and I loved it, actually. I thought it was a lot of fun. So my grade for Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire is an A-. That is my grade, and I'm sure that my buddy Sean, because I did a review for him for his channel as well, and it will take a little while for him to make his video and have it uploaded to his channel, which is why I want to do my own review, so that way you guys can hear my thoughts about this movie beforehand. So yeah, that should do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. It might be a couple days before my next video, mainly because, like I was saying earlier, I'm gonna be working like morning to nighttime shifts the next couple days. So that's mainly why I'm making this video now. So take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.